Alright, Jeskai Winota in Standard. So, Agent of Treachery is the biggest bad in Standard. The Jeskai Lukka deck that's running around right now, that's like cheating this card out on turn 5 is probably the best deck in the format right now. This is a different Jeskai deck looking to punk people out with Agent of Treachery. In addition to Agent, we also have Elite Guardmage and Charming Prince as human hits we can hit off of Winona, Joiner of Forces. Winona is also technically a hit for herself as well, so when you play her and then attack, you can find another copy of Winona and put her into play, attacking and indestructible, which is nice. The basic idea of the deck is that we put non-humans into play with Raise the Alarm, Legion Warboss, or Chandra Acolyte of Flame, or Bonecrusher, and then we get to trigger Winona and find Agent of Treachery to take their stuff with. We also have 2 copies of Lukka ourselves here, similar to how the Jeskai Lukka Fires deck abuses this. Either of our 4 drops, we could use Lukka to down tick to upgrade them into Agent of Treachery. So let's go ahead and hop on into some matches here with this, trying to find an aggressive deck that I like, which oddly, all the aggressive decks I'm considering right now are Jeskai decks. So we have Jeskai Winota here, we have Jeskai Luris, and we also have Jeskai Cycling. I guess that's technically like a red-white cycling deck. The red-green elementals deck you submitted should have 3 copies of Cleave. Feel free to update the deck list, and I will grab your latest iteration the night before I go live. Thanks for the 4 months, BB Trombone. Raid's great. I'm like up 10,000 points in the training tournament that's going on right now. Hopefully nobody tries to make moves today on the last day. Have some gems tucked away in case they do, though. They best not come at me, because they're going to miss. Is Cycling with Luris the best version of that deck? I have no idea. I'm going to bottom both of these here, because I want to try and hit an untapped land for this. Thanks for the 16 months. K9 GM. Is the red-green Lukka deck not good? It's too slow and fair. Automatic. Too slow, too fair, not consistent enough. I mean, to be fair, Depository, you didn't get anything extra. If you started abusing my link, you just supported my content a little bit. So, like, if you're playing and you want to hop in one of the Hoglandia guilds, you should just pop into the subscriber Discord server. I believe a few of them have spots at the moment. Brazen Borrower. It's interesting. This is the part where I get Brazen Borrower and main deck Aether Gusted into the ground until I remember why I've stopped playing Standard. It feels like that's what's about to happen. Something that I haven't mentioned, by the way, if you're someone who has a standard deck in my deck queue that's been waiting a little bit to be played, and you're not happy with where it's ended up at since the format's developed a little bit more, because I know there's a backlog, you are welcome to a refund or to change that deck to a different format. Or I'll keep it in there and play it on stream and lose a couple of matches. That's your call. Happy to do that too, if that's what would tickle your fancy. I mentioned this the other day. Moving forward, when Standard happens and new sets drop, I'm gonna take in fewer decks to start. Probably start with a higher price tag on them, just so we don't have as big of a backlog. Two of the clans in the Hoglandia group suppository kill Nightmare every day. We'll probably reorganize and try and push UNM at some point soon, too. There's a lot of whales in Hoglandia. We don't screw around. Interesting to note, we actually drop viewers when we switch to Standard. I might reorganize my schedule and start putting Standard first. I usually try and put the format that gets less viewers to start the day. So if that's going to be Standard moving forward, probably want to switch up my order. You're not sure how? You should ask in the subs chat, PB Trombone. We can help you gear stuff up or help you figure out what you need to work towards. There's a pinned guide in the message for stats you should work towards. Yeah, I agree. We're definitely going to be doing more Historic. There's a reason why we did 2 Historic today and 1 Standard. That type of ratio is probably going to move towards being more of the norm here. And now Uro just buries us. Yeah, I agree, Gato Gelato. If there's some really sweet cards in Historic Anthology 3 and the fact that the ladder's gonna be always open, I think the format has a lot of potential to snowball. Standard is just a dumpster fire of invention. I mean, Standard seems fine if you like the Fires decks. It's just my business model here doesn't really work well for Standard formats like this or Magic formats like this. Like, my business model or what we do on this channel is trying to do a variety of different things, and this Standard really isn't conducive to that, right? It is not conducive to having wildly varied gameplay. The Standard formats like this are good for, like, spiky players, like Croquis or Nelson or stuff like that want to, like, take a deck and hammer it and figure out how to win mirror matches with it, etc. That's not really my shtick. There's definitely types of players that enjoy this type of format. I think we're just bringing in a bunch of counterspells here, right? Lukka plan doesn't seem very good. Kind of slow and clunky. They can disrupt the thing we target in response. Bonecrusher Giant doesn't really kill anything meaningful on their side of the board. Elite Guardmage is a little bit slow and fair. Mostly just looking to flip into agents and Charming Princes to blink agents. I mean, to be fair, everybody's usually chasing Croquis nonsense is because Croquis is just chasing whatever the best deck is, right? Like, he's undoubtedly the best Spike stream on Twitch for Standard right now, right? Like, he is a play-to-win player who's looking to take the best deck and play it well and optimize it, and he's good at that. Yeah, he's the longsword. To put it in D&D terms, he's the longsword streamer. It ain't fancy, but it gets the job done and it's efficient at it. And there's respect to be had in using it well. I mean, almost every large Twitch chat's a dumpster fire. How's this one started? So far it's going how standard goes, Fox. I don't know. I'm a big... One of the things I find most stupid in Magic is this idea of deck ownership. So I feel like, and this happens with my streams too on occasion, where like we have a viewer submit a brew, people are like, well, oh, that's Jeff's deck. It's like, well, it's not really my deck any more than it is the person that randomly submitted it most times. Like, the idea that like one person owns the ideas is like mostly nonsense. That like, this is something that they uniquely came up with, and it wasn't like, oh, this is a pretty finite card pool, and it's like not really that innovative. Yeah, especially in Standard. In Standard, there's a lot of what I would refer to as like theme decks. Yes, popularize is a good term. A lot of people try to like have this, they own this thing. And it's like, well, popularize is probably better jargon, right? And there's definitely a degree to which that is splitting hairs, but it's something that I hear get said in a specific way pretty often in the Magic community. My dad owns WotC, so they're all mine, right? I feel like ownerships of decks is a stone throw away from net deck complaints. Yes, in fact, that reminds me, in one of my tweets talking about how I was looking for a standard deck, I had someone tweet at me, they were like, I'm owning all those net decks with this brew of mine, and they linked a deck, and it was literally just blue-green flash, and it was like, well, like, I believe you that, like, blue-green flash has, like, some okay matchups, but, like, let's maybe not, like, throw stones at people calling them net deckers when, like, your sick brew is just, like, you know, the deck that's existed for 3 seasons. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure they're winning plenty of games with it. It's just so weird when someone's like, oh, they're net deckers, and then like you post this list, it's like, oh, well, takes one to know one, I guess. I'm gonna shock this in to play around Mystic Dispute. Person creates a deck that already exists without neck decking as an original deck. Yeah, that's why, like, this originality in all of it is just mostly nonsense, in my opinion. Yeah, I agree, simply. Honestly, and here's a good, if you ever have someone in your local Magic group who's like adamantly against net deckers and they think they're a good deck builder, if you're actually a good deck builder and you've never had one of your decks become a net deck, I got bad news, you're not actually a good deck builder. Thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub, Dagger. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hooglandia. Did do a lot here. Yep. Yeah, I agree. Especially in formats like Standard, like Wizards of the Coast, when they make these formats, they envision specific archetypes and build to support them, right? And while there's definitely things that, like, they miss on occasion, that's why we have bans or things are too good. Like, a lot of these core ideas are like, okay, that's like a theme deck, right? Like, that's a deck that they were expecting to have be in the format, and it was there, and it's reasonable. Is it possible that Winota is too slow in Standard? I think it's possible that the Winota deck's just not good enough in Standard because it's just a worse Agent of Treachery deck than the Jeskai Lukka deck. Is part of the issue. And like, what this archetype is doing when it doesn't have Winota versus what the Jeskai control deck does when it doesn't have its Lukka is, I think, the other deck's better. Do you have some examples of deck designs designers at WotC didn't see coming? I think the most recent example, and most of this is speculative, but I would assume, for example, the Kisis combo deck that popped up in Standard, I think that was before rotation. Yeah, it was before rotation because Mox Amber was there. That's a deck that I would assume they did not expect to see.
What happened in here?
Your 6-year-old happened in here. Was going to clean it up at some point, and then stuff happened, and I didn't get to it.
Was it? Where was it? Wasn't this on here?
No, I mean, I told him he could play with them.
Oh.
He didn't do it without asking.
Don't these pants make my belly look really big?
Your belly makes your belly look really big?
Is my belly bigger than your face?
It is close. Hello, daughter. Are you behaving today?
Can I sit with you? Or am I too fat?
Yeah, I don't know. Can the chair... We're going to break the chair? So I think we want a bunch of removal. I think we probably don't want Lukka or Chandra here because they both just get attacked. Dragonfire, Aether Gust sound good. Redcap Melee sounds fine. Maybe I trim some Legion Warboss too. That might be going too low on Winota enablers though. I guess this is kind of a Winota enabler. I don't really have a ton of good things to mutate on, though. I'm not sure that this card's actually good in this deck.
I like how that one's just called Cat.
Well, it makes a cat token. It's not a card.
Cat.
How are the monsters today?
Good.
They're behaving.
I have 8 million bells.
You have 8 million bells.
And I still have more turnips.
You gonna spend them all in the stock market?
I mean, you gotta... I'm gonna sell my turnips to get more bells and then spend the bells to get more turnips.
Redcap Melee is the best anti-Winota card in red for sure, Ferpsy. Not close. For people that haven't seen it or played it, the game Animal Crossing is a late-stage capitalism emulator. For people that don't have enough of that in real life. It's a late-stage capital emulator in a furry costume. Are you more into the late stage capitalism or the furries, honey?
Some of them are creepy.
Some of them are creepy. Lots of them are creepy? Question mark.
No, like, there. I don't even know. There's probably hundreds of these animals in the game, but they're like.
Watch your mouth about Tom Nook.
They all have different personalities and stuff, and like, yeah, some of them are creepy. Some of them are robots too. Those ones aren't furry.
Capitalism and furries? How do they know what I'm into, right? I mean, the game's very popular, right? Alright, so I think we just raise the alarm and trade with these. Getting to take their 1/1 out, so their Love Struck Beast is worse later sounds good. Especially when we're getting beat down by the Questing Beast here. Super, super punished since we drew Winota. I think I'm just playing this. There might have been merit to going tapped land plus Bonecrusher here, since Bonecrusher blocks with that. But the upside to waiting is next turn I can go Bonecrusher plus Scorching Dragonfire on 5.
Harvest Moon was the first type of this game that I loved. Nintendo 64. The Switch version is not that good. I didn't play it for very long.
So, will Scorching Dragonfire the 1/1 and then Bonecrusher can trade with Questerson here? Or do I keep Bonecrusher so that way we can try and floop with Winota?
Stardew Valley might be better than Harvest Moon, too.
Do I block or do I try and floop, honey?
Floop.
You want floop?
Let's floop. Are we flooping pigs?
We're flooping agents, ideally. With one agent in hand already, I think we block. That's... Oh, no! Oh, no! You were supposed to be deeper in my deck, agent. Nailed it. Nailed it. Good job, honey. Good call.
Because I'm the best.
Hashtag sometimes lucky. Getting to steal their creature that then triggers Winota the following turn is great. BT dubs. If you've never tried it before, would highly recommend. You're hungry, you should eat. Don't starve my daughter.
I'm always hungry. That's why my belly is so big.
Attack, trigger Winota.
So did I win this game for you?
Charming Prince. Blink my Agent of Treachery.
Did I win this game for you?
Definitely. Yeah, it feels like if you're not Agent of Treacherying people in this format, you're probably doing it wrong. Feels like you should be doing that, or you're doing it wrong. You using that? Can I borrow it? Thanks. Because why not?
Well, we have so many more cards than them.
That's because we took a bunch of their cards, because Magic is fun.
We win?
We did in fact win.
No, we sideboard?
No, it's the end of the match. We were sideboarding when you came in.
Winner!
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Winners! Now we play another match?
Always.
Do I get to pick if we keep or mulligan?
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What do you think?
I think we should keep.
I agree. Got our beautiful Triome.
That's actually kind of...
I see we're still in Plat 4, so I assume we've been running bad. Standard's just not been good, Beetle. The last couple days of Standard have just been actual dog poop rancid. Once the Standard queue empties out a little bit, I'm going to be a lot more selective about what I take. except for large donations. Is there any point a deck that runs Tristani Discord with all these agents running around? So Tristani only gets you back your creatures, and there's too many things that, like, they just take your lands, and they take your planeswalkers, they take your enchantments, and she just doesn't do enough. Yeah, they just stone rain you out of the game. You like it better than the Kisus deck? Yeah, I can see that.
Is this one the first deck you top 8'd with?
No, that was Glissa.
No.
Close though, that's Nissa.
Oh, that was very close. Who's this?
Nico Bolas.
How come all the other planeswalkers are humans and this one isn't?
I don't know.
Is that true? Are there any other planeswalkers that are not humans?
Oh, Nissa's an elf. Yeah, it's a good call.
I mean,
she's a humanoid.
That's human adjacent.
It's humanoid. Angrath's a Mentor. Yep. Hey, Rogue Physicist, thanks for 26 months. Tibalt's a devil. Look at all these Vorthos nerds. I think I'm bottoming this. I just need to hit my lands and then try and find our Winota to get things into play. Or just hit more lands and cast this agent naturally.
Am I hurting you yet?
Karn is a golem. That's true. He's made out of iron, honey.
Am I hurting you yet?
Always. Renin 6 is a dryad stapled to a tree.
Stapled to a tree?
Does my wife play any video games? The animal capitalism game. What is it called? Harvest Moon?
No. Oh, Jeffrey.
Animal capitalism, chat. Gideon was a beefcake. Accurate. Oh, Chad. Well, I forgot they made a Sarah Planeswalker. I forgot they made a Sarah Plane. That was a conspiracy card, right? Oh, is it Modern Horizons? Oh, that's funny. Let's block smarter, huh? I'm excited to die to them cycling 5 cards here. Whoa, only had one, that's so good. Alright, I'm gonna be honest. I'm having a hard time focusing playing this format. I'm gonna be done. I appreciate the support, Alkalol. I ended up being up several times last night and did not sleep a lot. And I'm having the play patterns in Standard are just so awful that I'm just having a hard time focusing without having slept very much last night. We had our sump pump started. Our sump pump late yesterday started running constantly, so I had to unplug it so it wouldn't burn out. So I had to wake up several times over the night last night while it was raining and plug it back in so it could empty the sump pit without flooding my basement, and then unplug it so it didn't burn out. So that was my night. This morning we had someone from William Masters out and they were great, and they replaced it and we have a new one. We have a new one in there. So at least my basement didn't flood. So I've got that going for us. I consider finding out your sump pump has an issue and it not resulting in your basement being flooded a success, especially when your basement is almost fully finished like mine. Yeah, it was awesome. Like, I called them at like 5 after 8 this morning and someone showed up with a new sump at my house at like 9:30. For someone who doesn't have a basement, what is a sump pump and what does the pump do? Okay, so basically how houses with basements work, at least in the Midwest, there is piping along the foundation of the house, so any water that would come into the house goes down the foundation into these pipes, and then the pipes drain that water into a sump pit. And there is a pump in that pit that pumps the water back up out of that pit through a different pipe out into a drainage sewer. So the water that would be coming into your basement drains into piping. That water, the piping takes it to a pit, and then the pit uploads it using the pump to the sewer drain, to a drain sewer. I don't know if that's only an issue in the Midwest. I just know that that's how it works in the Midwest. Some pumps are very common in homes that have basements here. We do, Socio Penguin, and we actually have 2 pumps in there, but I wasn't sure if the backup one was working and I didn't have a good way to test it, so, you know. The guy that came in confirmed the backup one looks like it works, but it's higher up, so I didn't want to wait to see it got there. Yeah, rather than flip a coin. Hey, Brad, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Well, all right, I'm checking out. We're going to be doing... I think we're going to go down to 1 standard deck a day moving forward, and probably going to do it to start the streams, because standard's been rough. Unless something breaks open and the standard format drastically changes over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'm gonna be scaling back. So, everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. Looking forward to playing more Historic. I'll catch all y'all around later. Everybody enjoy your Tuesday.